Welcome. My name is Terry White. I am King County Metro's General Manager. I want to thank you all for joining us this morning here in lovely, bright White Center. I would like to share a land acknowledgement prepared by a King County colleague, Pamela Stearns. We respectfully acknowledge that we are on the land of the Duwamish people, which includes the Muckleshoot, Snoqualmie, and Tulalip. And we honor all of the Coast Salish people whose land and water supports us. As a governmental agency that is occupying indigenous lands, we feel it is crucial to do what we can to remember the true history of how we got here, and to work towards fixing the injustices that still exist for indigenous people who live here today. Let's take a moment to remember that the indigenous people were and continue to be the original stewards and caretakers of this land. We're excited to join you here today across White Center, Burien, Delridge, West Seattle, downtown Seattle, and all of our community working together with shared resolve to expand mobility and connect people with opportunities and help them to thrive. Please join me in welcoming our region's top advocate for transit service, King County Executive Dow Constantine.
Well, thank you, Terry, and thanks to everyone. Thanks to everyone for being here today. I am excited to be here as we mark an important milestone in the journey to strengthen our region's transit network as Metro improves and expands service to communities across King County. We are building the next rapid ride. You know, already off script. I remember when my predecessor, Ron Sims, announced this idea, the idea that we were going to build these high-capacity, frequent, high-quality corridors across the county. It was a real kind of departure from the traditional sort of spiderweb model of service that we had. That people would be able to do without a schedule, to simply come to the corridor, go to one of these upgraded bus stops and catch a bus every few minutes. And now we have rolled out lines filling kind of the first third of the alphabet. We're on to H, plenty of letters to go. And I am so excited that Rapid Ride H is about to break ground. You know, it will go from Burien and the Transit Center to White Center and the homes and small businesses, to Delridge, and then to 3rd Avenue and to the job centers in South Lake Union. The 120 that has been serving this general route has been one of the real workhorses during the pandemic. And more than a year later, the 120 has risen to be the 6th busiest route in the metro system. Really important for people depending on transit, those essential workers, the people who needed transit the most. Pandemic really showed us who relies on transit. The communities served by the 120, the future Rapid Ride H, were folks who were helping us keep our community going during the toughest of times. And we've continued to make sure Metro is safe for riders. We've layered our safety measures on our coaches. We've been guided, as we have in all of our work during this time, by health experts. We provide mask dispensers fleet-wide, safety partitions, and limit the number of riders per coach, all in the name of safety. Riders put their trust in Metro every day, and we're honored to keep that trust. Now, we have about 11,000 bus trips on the road every weekday. That's more than 85% of our pre-COVID levels. We have worked hard to restore service as quickly as we can to be there when people are ready to return to their normal activities. And that number is going to improve as we restore service in the coming months and years to build back better. In turn, transit will be at the center of the region's rebounding economy. Now, during the next year, you're going to see some 51 transit stations emerge along 13 miles in this corridor. It's going to stretch from, in reverse order now, from South Lake Union all the way through downtown Seattle, up Delridge, right here in White Center, and right to the Burien Transit Center, where people can also make transfers to get to other locations. We're expanding transit signal priority to 19 intersections. That means buses can get the jump start they need to not get stuck in the auto traffic. And we have about 10 miles of red bus lanes already, and we're going to be growing that commitment with another 5 miles of red bus lanes along the route. These are investments in the communities we serve and the riders who depend on Metro. All these innovations, all these improvements, they make riding Rapid Ride convenient, quick, and easy, just as Ron promised us before we ever saw a Rapid Ride route. We were able to start the first route in, I believe it was 2010, and it was very, very well received. And we've seen these routes attract more and more riders. People who previously had driven in their own cars realized that this was fast, convenient, and importantly, in the case of Rapid Ride, reliable. That we've cleared the way for the buses so people don't have to get stuck in traffic. It makes it a much more attractive alternative for folks commuting. It's around-the-clock service. It's 7 days a week, and it means working families can get where they need and get back home again. Transforming this route to Rapid Ride focuses our investments where the needs are greatest and expands access to opportunity for communities by expanding transit. And I've helped launch a number of these Rapid Ride lines. And the fact is that this really is the future of transit. This is a version of what we are also doing with light rail, where we create these high capacity corridors and then we feed those corridors with transit and bike lanes and other ways to get to the transit. That means that you don't have to plan your whole day around the schedule for a bus that only runs every hour. That you can use transit without having to plan ahead just by going to the route. That is how this region is going to transform. That is how we're going to build around these transit centers. That is how we're going to create a more sustainable future where everyone has access to the opportunities this entire region has to offer. Better buses, better stations, better real-time information. As we break ground today, we're taking an important first step toward fulfilling our promise to thousands of riders who count on Metro. Better services on the way as we build back better for King County. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Aaron Garcia, who is with the White Center Community Development Association. Aaron.
All right. Yo, welcome to White Center. My name is Aaron Garcia. I am from the White Center Community Development Association, and I'm also part of the Highline Board of Directors for Highline School District. And I am hyped to be here, to be getting the H-Line, to getting Rapid Ride. A little bit about myself. When I was growing up, I actually used to work downtown in Queen Anne at a restaurant called Jalisco's. And every single day I would get on the bus and I would go all the way downtown and I would work until midnight. And if I missed that bus, I wasn't getting back home until 2 a.m., right? So the reason this is important to me, and I know people like me who've grown up in the service industry, is this is accessible, it's fast, it's secure, and this is what we need in White Center. So I am so hyped that we're gonna be getting a Rapid Ride here in White Center because that means people aren't gonna be waiting until 2 a.m. to get home because they're tired. So this is a huge, huge blessing for our community. I am so thankful for all of y'all for being here, for making this happen, because it's taken a lot of work. So thank you to all the Metro folks who made this happen. And what else? I had one more thing I was gonna say. Oh no! But y'all rock, and thank you very much. Introducing Joe, that's what it was.
I'm King County Council Member Joe McDermott,
And listening to Aaron and Dow has reminded me of one of the biggest mistakes I've made in the last 10 years. Moving off of the sea line. Moved off of the sea line, don't live on a rapid ride, actually have to look at a bus schedule again. Big mistake, don't do it. I'm really pleased to be able to be here today for the groundbreaking of the Rapid Ride H. To be upgrading what has been the 120, a real workhorse of the system that has Dow spoke of it being number 6 system-wide in usage as we come out of the pandemic. It has consistently been in the top 10 of all routes within Metro for years. A real workhorse. And it's exciting to be able to convert it to Rapid Ride H, that will run virtually continuously. So you're not checking the schedule. So you know that you're going to get to where you want to be. Whether that's going to your faith community, going to work, going to play, going to medical appointments. Rapid Ride H will get you where you need to go. It'll unite and further cement fantastic communities like Burien, White Center, Delridge, in downtown and South Lake Union, making connections that get people to where they need to go when they need to go there. We know that this mobility really does transform lives and really builds and supports communities. So it's exciting to be able to be here today for this groundbreaking, be able to celebrate with you. And I'm also happy to be able to introduce our next speaker, the Mayor of Burien, Jimmy Mata.
Trying to get used to the dance of whether we're shaking hands, we're fist bumping, or elbow bump, but I'm happy to be here with you all today. First of all, before I go into my written comments, I want to thank everybody that's here, the contractor that I just got to meet. Very important piece of this, because I want to make sure that we have minority, women-owned businesses on these jobs, and everything that Dow and the council has worked on, and I'm happy to see it in our city. But we'll start off by thanking Councilmember McDermott for introduction as mayor of the city of Burien. I'm proud to be here at this groundbreaking of the H lane and street improvement along Ambon Boulevard. Fast and reliable transportation connects Burien to jobs and services across the region. This is critical to help Burien grow in a way that is sustainable and equitable for all of us. And I lost my spot there. There we go. This project will help serve as a catalyst to help the city of Burien achieve many of our policy goals, and there's many of them. At the same time, the H-lane construction in Burien, when it begins, the city's kicking off a land use study of Ambon Boulevard corridor to help plan for the future of this area. We're inviting community to help us envision how transit-oriented development along Ambon Boulevard could lead to more vibrant, walkable communities that has an opportunity for all of us. Many families along the H-lane already use the transit system to go to work, for daycare, and to meet daily needs. The H-lane improvement along the planned transit-oriented development will help our community reduce their household transportation costs. Very important these times coming out of this pandemic. Burien is also developing our own climate action plan, where reliable public transit is an important strategy that will lead to less pollution, safer environment for Burien today and for the future of all of us. Not only will the H-lane project bring faster and more reliable bus transit options to families and workers in our community, but it'll also make critical safety improvements. We're gonna have some beautiful sidewalks. Thank you. Burien is proud to be a partner with project with King County Metro, City of Seattle. We believe that this will make a difference in our daily lives as Burien residents. And before I introduce our next speaker, you know, it takes leadership and commitment, not only from the staff, but also from the leaders that are putting the thought and making bold ideas, as you've just heard the outline today, how it started and how we're gonna continue to build and how we're gonna end it. And how we're gonna end it is rapid lane everywhere in our region to make sure people can get to work, make sure that we bring what we've been all fighting for is equality across our country. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Seattle Department of Transportation Director Sam Zimbabwe. Did I say Zimbabwe right? All right.
Thank you, Mayor Mata. Said it perfectly. Good morning, everybody. I'm Sam Zimbabwe. I'm the director of the Seattle Department of Transportation, here also on behalf of Mayor Jenny Durkin. Just north of us, the city of Seattle is making big changes to Delridge Way Southwest. The construction is the culmination of over $90 million of investment in safe, reliable transportation. The project is delivered in close partnership with King County Metro as part of our Transit Plus program to improve speed and reliability along 7 high-priority transit corridors, including the Delridge corridor. When you visit the Delridge area in West Seattle, you'll see the Levy to Move Seattle dollars at work, rebuilding the street, making better connections to people walking and biking, and adding bus lanes and signals to prioritize the future Rapid Ride H-Line buses. The communities of West Seattle, Burien, and White Center are closely connected, and we know people frequently travel between them to get to work, school, activities, and essential services. We also know that 34% of households along the bus route do not own a car, making this project especially critical in providing safe, affordable, and accessible public transit. Since its inception, this project has been connected to addressing equity concerns in the Delridge community and along the whole corridor. It's also an important project to help us achieve our Vision Zero goal of ending traffic deaths and serious injuries by 2030 and helping us fight climate change by reducing carbon pollution from our transportation sector. There's no perfect time to start a major construction project like this, and we began construction on the Delridge corridor in June of 2020 in the middle of a global pandemic and just 2 months after we had to implement an emergency closure of the West Seattle high-rise bridge to traffic. The closure significantly changed the way people move throughout West Seattle and to the communities of White Center and Burien. And because of the changes in travel patterns, we've been able to make good progress and are on schedule to complete most of the construction along Delridge later this year. During this closure, it's critical that we implement both short and long-term improvements while we repair the West Seattle Bridge to reopen in 2022, which is why we're working along Delridge to create greater capacity and mobility so that when the bridge reopens and as the Rapid Ride H comes online, West Seattle can move forward full steam ahead, stronger than ever before. We're aggressively working at multiple locations throughout the corridor to limit the duration of construction. And if you'll see Delridge Way Southwest today, you'll already see a much different corridor than what we started with in June 2020. Our team has completed intensive roadway repairs and utility upgrades so far, and will continue the major construction activities late into 2021 to coordinate with the Rapid Ride H investments coming online. In closing, I'd like to thank the West Seattle, Burien, and White Center communities, and a special thank you to the Delridge community for their patience, understanding, and collaboration throughout this past year of construction. And I'd like to turn it back over to a great partner, King County Metro General Manager Terry White.
Now, speaking of partnership, today we get to see the true meaning of partnering. And I think as a result of our teamwork and passion, the riders are the winners in this region. And if you've ever ridden the Route 120, you know that it is meaningful to how you live, whether that's work, education, entertainment, and so much more. The Route 120 connects communities and neighborhoods to job centers in Seattle and in Burien. And there's a broader transit network that awaits you when you get downtown via the state ferries, and as Dow mentioned, the Link Light Rail network that is ever expanding. Transit mobility is the connection and the path for folks to the places they want and need to be. Today, rush hour folks who ride the 120 receive service every 7 minutes in one direction to downtown Seattle. That's going to change. With Rapid Ride, you will see 7 minutes service during rush hour both ways. You will receive service from Burien through White Center to downtown Seattle every 10 minutes throughout the midday, both ways. We are very pleased that this day of launching this project is finally here. And I want to give some thanks to some folks who helped to make this possible, to our service planners and our design team at Metro. You have kept your eye on this prize leading up to this moment, and you have delivered this project, will deliver this project to this community over the next year. To the community members, thank you for being a part of us, guiding us in partnership. You made sure to explain what you needed to get to transit, whether that was improving sidewalks or crosswalks, so that connections are even safer in this corridor, so all of you can get to and ride Metro. More importantly, to our transit operators and to our vehicle maintenance workers, you kept that service rolling over these past 12 months in some trying times so that we could get to today. Before long, you will hear riders in yet another great community saying, "I ride Rapid Ride." The H-Line drivers will be there. They'll be happy to serve you, to care for you, to wish you a wonderful day, to get you home safely. It's moments like these that are important. They prove our commitment to serving riders and to making their lives better. Construction is progress, and Metro, Seattle, and Burien are proud to move forward together. Now I'd like my esteemed colleagues to join me in the ceremony of moving some land as we kick off this inaugural project.
Okay. Get a little dirt. Double lift. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Haha, it's almost done.